Hello everyone, welcome to Senior Crafternoon. Today we're going to be working on rope coasters. So I'm going to go over everything you have in your kit. You should have 2 lengths of rope. They're about 5 feet each, maybe a little bit over that. You should have a little container of some tacky glue. You're going to have, maybe hard to see, but you'll have a couple of lengths of this clear wire or thread. And then you'll have a needle, and yours are going to be chenille needles. They're number 20, so the eye's a little bit bigger. I didn't have any extra, so I'm just using an embroidery needle. So this is what we are going to end up with. Oh, you'll also have a couple of pieces of this textile. I'm not sure what it is. I got it at some event where they were giving away random craft supplies, but you could use any thick fabric or probably even wallpaper, leather or faux leather. So the first thing you want to do is add your thread to the needle. So I've just gone ahead and it's doubled over and knotted. And then you want to add some glue to the end of one of the ends of the rope. You can actually do both. It doesn't matter too much when you do the other end. But this is just to keep it from fraying. If you want, you can also use a lighter. I just could not include a lighter in all of the kits, but you could also burn the edges. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start by folding this over a few times. So we're just doing the very center, and then I'm going to pass the needle all the way through and come out the other side. And I'm just going to go back and forth a couple of times through this. It's kind of like a little cinnamon roll. So you just want to make it so that it doesn't unravel. I'm going to go back one more time. Okay, so now from this point we're just going to be working our way out, and I'm going to move this a little bit closer. So you can see. Okay. So we're going to keep rolling this. And I'm going to pass my needle through. And for these first couple, I'm going to just keep going all the way through because I want to make sure that it stays. Okay, so once I've got it like this, we're going to start going sort of a zigzag pattern in and out. So I'm going to go in, and I'm not going to go all the way to the middle. I'm just passing through these 2 outside pieces of the rope. So I've ended up coming out with my needle here, and then I'm going to go back through and kind of at an angle go out this way. So what I'm wanting to do is go in sort of V shapes all the way around so that I can catch all of the pieces of the rope. And you want to come out through the middle of the rope that's on the very outside so that it all stays together. So I'm holding it up so you can see, but it may be easier for you to work on a flat surface. So we're going to go back through, and again we're coming out here. We're wanting to go at an angle so that we catch all of the pieces. So I'm going to go back and come out over on the side. And if you are working on a flat surface, you can just keep turning it this way. It's a little bit more difficult to do if you're holding it up in the air. So back in. And if you're not doing it, you know, perfectly, the thread is clear, so it's not going to make a huge difference, but we do want it to kind of blend in. So back in. And then out at an angle. And if I hold it up, I can see that it's staying together. So we're getting the middle pretty much done here. Just gonna do a close-up. Right, so I've got my thread coming out and just continuing to go through those outside pieces of rope. And then when I go back out through the same area, but make sure that I go through all of the layers and come out over here. Whoops. And pull it out accidentally. Okay. Alright, so we'll just keep doing that. If you run out of your clear thread as you're working, just go ahead and tie a knot and get some more thread and keep going. And then we will finish it off with our little piece of textile when we're done. Okay, so now I have cut this to take some more of my glue, and you can apply it with a Q-tip or brush or your fingers. And then finish this off. Now you can kind of spread it out if you need to. Okay, so now we're going to cover this piece up with a little bit of cloth. Alright, so I've got a little bit more thread on my needle. And I've gone ahead and added some glue around the edges here just so this doesn't fray. And I'm going to cover, just fold this over the end. Make sure that it's even on each side. And I'm going to come up through here just to hide the knot that's on the end of the thread. And I'm just going to go back and forth through this a couple of times. And it is pretty thick, so just be careful. And this thread doesn't really show up too much on this fabric, so shouldn't have to worry about whether you're doing your stitches straight or anything. If you can, it's easier to get it through if you can find a space in between the two pieces of rope. If you have to go through the rope and through this, it's a little bit harder. Okay, so this is attached. Go ahead and knot it in the back. So just pass the needle through and then pass it through the loop. And that is done. So you have enough to do 2 of these. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. If you have a sewing machine at home, this is a fun project to do on the sewing machine. It's a lot faster. It's the same, you just feed it through the machine, but you're basically using a zigzag stitch all the way around. So for the people who are coming in person, we're going to go ahead and try that if you'd like to use a sewing machine. So we will be back next month. Please check our calendar for registration dates, and I will see you next time.